Welcome back everyone. iOS 14.1 it just came out and we're going to take a look at it on the iPhone 7 Plus. I don't think I got to review it last time, but this time I'm going to go ahead and review it again. Now with 14.1, this is pretty much primarily a bug fix update. So if you're trying to get like the most amount of features or whatever, you're 1000% not going to get it with this update. iOS 14 was probably that update for you, but this is still a really important update in my opinion. Now this is actually the biggest update we've gotten on iOS 14 since 14 itself. As you can see, it's 322.9 megabytes on this specific device. So if you're updating on the iPhone 7 Plus, make sure you have that much saved up before you go and update. Now, like I said, this was a bug fix update at its core. So pretty much addressed a lot of the issues that Apple has been facing, especially I see go on Twitter and all that stuff. A lot of those bugs have now been fixed. So the first things first is, it's not really relevant to the 7 Plus, but it's still important to note, we now have 10-bit HDR video playback and editing capability on the iPhone 8 and newer. Now, the iPhone 7 Plus does not support that, unfortunately, but it's still important for me to note. Now, there were a lot of issues with widgets, since even the first version of iOS 14, and Apple has now kind of addressed them, and they said there were some cases where sometimes if you opened up your screen for the first time or whatever, your widgets can be out of place, they can be a little bit bigger, smaller, the sizes can be weird, so Apple went ahead and fixed that for the most part. There were also some issues that I think I kind of had. If you dragged a widget and try to put on a different page or whatever, basically those widgets would delete some apps sometimes, not delete them, but just remove them from your main screen and put them in the app library. So I found that kind of weird. I mean, I think it happened to me one time with my Snapchat app on my main phone, but I think other than that, it's never really been a problem, but Apple went ahead and fixed it now, which is really cool. There were some issues again in the Mail app. I don't know what it is with the Mail app that's always having issues, but apparently it's fixed now too, which is really good. I'm glad to hear that. There were some music app fixes, some Apple Watch app fixes as well for the family members thing. There was a really random funny glitch where in the calculator it wouldn't allow you to put in zeros for some reason, so that is now fixed. So for the most part, again, there were a lot of bug fixes, random stuff that need to be fixed. Maybe you had some of them, maybe you didn't have any of them, but it's now fixed now, which is really cool. Now, we did run a benchmark, which I'm sure most of you guys are interested in, and I had 718 as my single core score and 1263 as my multi-core score. So it definitely is a pretty decent score, pretty much the same thing I'm getting on my iPhone 7 Plus or my iPhone 7. Now, previously, my scores were, I think, a little bit higher. I had 752 as my single core score, 1415 as my multi-core score. So speed of performance, maybe it'll go down a little bit, but it doesn't really matter. Like, they're still going to be pretty much the same exact phone. Now, to answer the question though, should you install iOS 14.1 on your iPhone 7 Plus? What I can tell you is that I think, like I stated before in the other videos, for surprisingly on the 7 Plus and the iPhone 7 series, previously I would have had a lot of issues, I would have had a lot of problems with these specific devices, but for some reason on iOS 14, that hasn't really been too much of the case. Obviously there's going to be bugs and problems and stuff, but for the most part iOS 14 has been a pretty decent update for these. However, this is what I'll tell you. If you're on iOS 14 on any version, the betas, even 14.2 if you want to downgrade to 14.1, okay, if you want to do that. But if you're on iOS 14 or 14.0.1, going to iOS 14.1 will get you a better and probably more stable version than iOS 14 or 14.0.1. But I want to say, if you're on iOS 13 right now, even if you're on like iOS 13.5 or something, staying on those specific versions of iOS may be a better way to go for you right now. And the main reason I say that is because iOS 13, was more mature, was more stable than iOS 14 right now. So staying on that older version may be a better way to go. But still, iOS 14 is pretty good and 14.1 is better. But like I said before, if you're sticking with iOS 13 and if you're still on it, I would recommend staying on iOS 13 before going up to iOS 14. That's kind of what I would say now. But again, the choice is yours, but that's kind of what I would say. So that really pretty much covers it up. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys can hit that. Also, check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my other channels. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.